Nope. This one's not working. You grab the content of the screen. Yeah, basically so Touchstone is not just sort of wireless charging. It also powers those use cases where I can go device to device, Touchstone device to Touchstone device. So we have the capability to, when this phone rings, your slate will ring. When this phone gets an SMS, your slate gets an SMS. If you answer the call here, you can transfer it back to your phone at any time. And once these things are paired, to enable those things, you can push a URL from one device to the other, and then of course anything can be at a URL, a document, a photo, music, anything, right?
Well, this thing is like integrated in some API.
I can quick turn off, I can mute the sound quickly, or I can rotation lock the screen so it doesn't rotate on me.
Are there any plans to make business? I mean, things like laptops, Windows.
I think we've got a powerful operating system that scales beautifully, including to the PC. We could do all kinds of things with it. We want to address all kinds of customers. We want to address corporate customers, SMB customers, consumers. So we're going to slice and dice that for across devices and deliver the devices for those customers. So you can envision things.
The jack comes in two flavors, 16 gig and 32 gig. So let me show you, and of course it's running WebOS, so let me show you some of the basics of WebOS that make the touchpad really powerful. The first is this concept of cards. Okay, every application here, we call it, every representation of an application here, we call it a card. Okay, and that's a visual of the application, and it makes it very easy and natural to move between one application and the next. So I'm scrolling between my email, my web page, my photos, and to get back into what we call card view, we simply press the center button, and that gives you a view of your workspace, right? And think about it, it's kind of like your desk at work, right? You've got stuff spread out on it. You get that same kind of visceral feel with WebOS running on a touchpad with cards. Now, if I want to close an application, I can simply take it and flick it up to the top of the screen and throw it away. It's actually kind of fun to do. My kids always want to flick applications. They always want to close my applications because they love flicking. Okay, so we all know that this format's it's been great it is great for web and for multimedia. We all know that. What we haven't seen to date, we haven't seen a great email experience on the touchpad form factor, and touchpad's really changing that. So we've completely redesigned our email application to take advantage of the large screen. So on the far left, you can see all your inboxes. You can have your work email, your personal email. On the middle column, you can scroll through your inbox, and on the right-hand column, you have a reading pane. Now, let's say I'm in an email and I want to expand it out and read it in kind of its fuller HTML glory. I can do that simply by tapping on the reading panel. It expands it out, so it's extremely flexible email application, email client that allows me to really focus on whether I'm going through a particular inbox, reading a particular email, or I want to flip between my inboxes. Now let me show you where cards really pay off. Cards really pay off in the email application. So here, let's say I'm reading an email, I click on a link. Lots of our emails have links on them. When I click on a link, that link is given a new card. Now let's say I reply to an email, or let's say I forward this email. Let's say I'm thinking about a friend of mine who would really like to read this. I can forward it on to him. That forward is also given its own card. So take a minute and think about the way you work. If you're like me, I've got probably 7 or 8 emails open at any given time. I've got like 10 or 12 web pages going, and I'm constantly flipping back and forth between them. I'm going from a web page that I'm researching, might be reading, getting some information from the web, then I'll flip back over to the email that I'm writing and write some more. Maybe a new email will come in on a thread that I'm writing. I'll flip back to my inbox, make sure I catch up on the latest thinking about the idea that I'm writing about. And that's the way we work. Right? WebOS allows you to do that very easy, very naturally. You're not constrained by the technology. You're working the way you're used to working. I challenge you to try that on any other platform. WebOS delivers an unparalleled experience. Okay, you can also use cards to organize. So I'll give you an example. Let's say this was another web page that I was using to help me research an email that I'm writing. Now I can simply take that card, move it over to the web page, and create a new stack. Now that allows me to just even more easily flip between that particular email and that particular web page. So that's just one example how you can use cards to organize and how powerful cards are specifically for email, kind of across the board, but most specifically for email, and help you move between open applications, pick up right where you left off, as well as even organize. Okay, so let me show you also, I'm going to show you another application. I'll show you our Photos app. With our Photos application, just like you saw in email, on the left-hand side, you have, just like in email, you had all your inboxes. Here in Photos, you have all your photo sources. So I have local photos, so I can carry all my albums around with me. Excuse me, I can scroll through them, both horizontally and vertically. But we also keep photos on the web. So here's we have photos on Facebook, PhotoBucket, Snapfish. Here's my Facebook photo albums. If I go into a particular album, I can scroll through my photos. You'll notice that there's a comments icon there. Since these are Facebook photos, they're live. I can see the comments of what people have written about the photos.